This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network. We broadcast from our studios at 6 Bradley Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band. 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Coopers Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James, serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
A very good morning to you. I'm Tona Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Friday, April 25, 2025. Labour Ministry applies temporary brakes on Chinese auto mechanics operating from Ferry St. Catherine. Administrative block at Cornwall Regional Hospital reopens. Manchester businessman Aidan Peart applies to represent the JLP in Southeast St. Anne. In regional news, Guyana lawmakers to table oil spill bill in Parliament. In international news, a senior Russian general killed in car blast just outside Moscow. And in sports, the 129th Penn Relays continues in Philadelphia today, with action set to get underway at 8 a.m. Jamaica time. In business, the U.S. state of California surpasses Japan as the fourth largest economy. The details after the break.
In this uncertain U.S. immigration climate, you need expert guidance you can trust. The Consular Queen LLC handles visas, waivers, petitions, and more, making immigration stress-free. Don't navigate the process alone. Get professional support today. Call 470-593-8448 now. That's 470-593-8448. The Consular Queen. Unite families, change lives. 470-593-8448. Secure your future today.
Catch the first news of the day, a comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The Wholehearted Car Services Company in Ferry Pen, St. Catherine, has been ordered to suspend operations until the immigration status of its Chinese employees has been verified. The directive has been issued by the Work Permit Department of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. This follows a Nationwide News exclusive on Thursday, which revealed that the 10 Chinese mechanics at the company do not have valid work permits. Robin Williams has more in this report.
Speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Thursday, Labour Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says a team of investigators from its Work Permit Department has engaged the Chinese mechanics in an aim to confirm their work status. Until that process is concluded, they are to desist from offering any mechanical services.
The team that interacted with them today did provide them with certain instructions. Among those instructions I know would be that until we can conclude positively, or until whatever breaches, if any, that are identified are rectified, that they should not be operating. The officers from our work permit unit would have provided them with a clear guideline of what is necessary and indicated to them that if they do not have the relevant work permit to operate this specific type of business, they are to shut down their operation until otherwise.
Preliminary reports from the unit suggest that only 2 of the 10 mechanics working at the company may be in possession of a valid work permit. Our sources say the man who claims he's the manager of the facility, Ming-Zhen Chen, does indeed have authorization to work on the island. However, we understand that his permit is for work at a haberdashery in Mandeville, Manchester. Minister Charles Jr. says one of the most important aspects of the investigation is the verification of identity.
Anyone can tell you that they are anyone. And so a big part of the process is to ensure that we are connecting names to identity in the right way. Which is why I say very carefully that we can confirm that 2 names that we have been given are connected appropriately to work permits relating to a haberdashery. We are in the middle of an active investigation, and so I can't speak to the specific status of those individuals, but what I can assure you is that it is a cross-cutting investigation, and we are examining all aspects, including documentation, legal status, everything that is required to ensure compliance with the law.
While acknowledging that motorists have flooded the Chinese-owned repair shop, Minister Charles Jr. notes that they must operate in compliance with the law.
We recognize that they have been operating, that there are many Jamaicans that have been seeking and receiving service from them, and we don't want persons to get the impression that we're trying to stifle or create barriers to commerce. That is not our intention. That is not our responsibility. Our responsibility is to make sure that while we facilitate commerce, it must be done in compliance with the law to protect those members of the public who are seeking to take advantage of those services.
Robianne Williams for Nationwide News.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says he's disappointed by the call from his opposition shadow, Dr. Alfred Dawes, for the resignation of the chairman of the Southeast Regional Health Authority, Sarah Wentworth Charles. Dr. Dawes' call follows the decision by Sarah to purchase a neurodrill for use at the Bustamante Hospital for Children at a cost he asserts is well above the market price. According to Dr. Dawes, the procurement of the drill is a case of either gross incompetence or corruption. However, speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Thursday, Dr. Tufton says the correct procedure was followed.
I am quite disappointed in the utterances of the opposition spokesperson. I am amazed at his rhetoric on a number of things, even understanding the context of the politics, particularly in a case where he raised a concern. He was invited in, or he asked to be he was invited in to discuss it so that the process could be explained. I asked for a report on the matter. I didn't get too involved because the region was dealing with it. The process involved advertising for the product, an evaluation that involved 2 neurosurgeons. It is a neurosurgery, and to simplify, a brain and spinal equipment that does complicated surgeries for children.
The minister says Dr. Dawes' assertions fall flat in the face of the available evidence.
We will just have to keep focus and do what we have to do. What we have now is a piece of equipment that we never had before, that I am told is one of a kind, not just in Jamaica, but the region, and that will save lives. And that is what, as far as I'm concerned, is important. The process was followed, the process right through to the end. PPC approved it. And so I don't see any reason to accuse anyone of corruption or indeed misinformation around how this process worked. And he seems to be having a hard time comprehending. That's unfortunate.
Dr. Christopher Tufton, Minister of Health and Wellness. Meanwhile, Dr. Tufton says while he agrees that Jamaica's health system isn't perfect, he believes that the Holness administration has done more than its predecessors to address the biggest concerns.
I think the health system is plagued and has been by a lot of legacy issues, undercapitalization, and to some extent some management issues. I don't think that is impatient of debate. But I also think that it is this government over the 9 years, if you look at it objectively, that has done more to expand to meet the demands of the population. More in terms of budgetary allocation from 60 billion to 140 billion. More in terms of new services. More in terms of medication, over 3 million prescriptions. More in terms of more doctors and nurses through compensation review and expansion of permanent posts. I would never be the one to say it is perfect, because it is not. But it is far better today than it was in 2015.
Dr. Christopher Tufton, Minister of Health and Wellness. Now, Cornwall Regional Hospital has reached its first milestone with the reopening of the facility's administrative block. The block was officially reopened on Thursday. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says that the repairs to the hospital are set for completion in 2026.
We have a timeline for first quarter next year for the full completion and the full re-engagement. However, the plan is to engage sections of the 10-story building on a periodic basis starting today, and then with time, maybe a few months, you'll go to other areas, and then it will keep moving until we get to the full completion.
The Cornwall Regional Hospital has been undergoing redevelopment works after air quality issues were discovered in 2009. Since rehabilitation works began in 2017, the project has faced escalating costs and delays. Administrative services were subsequently relocated. Dr. Tufton says several departments of the hospital will see a phased reopening over the next year.
We felt that the administrators of the institution needed to be in first, the procurement, accounting, general management, because they are the capacity that deals with coordination and the running of the institution. We're moving from there to some other areas to give support, like the server room, dietary, and so on. And then from there, we'll eventually get to ward spaces and so on. But there's working taking place on every floor of the building now. So you will hear more about other openings and re-engagement in the months to come.
Dr. Christopher Tufton, Health and Wellness Minister. He was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Thursday. Repairs and overhauls of the hospital cost over $23 billion, including the relocation of services and the restoration of the main building. To date, $1.8 billion have been spent on the relocation of services. He says the main building's rehabilitation has seen an investment of $3.9 billion. Meanwhile, opposition spokesperson on tourism, Senator Janice Allen, is calling for renewed focus on the full reopening of the Cornwall Regional Hospital. Senator Allen says after 8 years and a cost to jump from $2 billion to $26 billion, Western Jamaica deserves health care, not headlines. She says the opening of the administrative wing does nothing to restore the critical services patients have been waiting for. She says there are still no functioning wards or clinical services at the hospital, despite the hype by the government. Senator Allen also pushed back against suggestions that criticism of the protracted rehabilitation of the hospital and the attendant costs only serves to demoralize healthcare workers. Chief Justice Brian Sykes says the Judicial Services Commission, JSC, is considering the use of a psychometric evaluation in its recruitment of judges. He was speaking at a swearing-in ceremony at King's House on Thursday.
Critical part of what we will be looking at is the use of psychometric evaluation. And so you're looking at things such as attitudes to authority, willingness to work in teams, willingness to abide by legitimate instructions in terms of the administration of the court, because the court has to have rules by which it operates without compromising the ability of the judge to decide cases as they understand the law and the evidence. So those are things now that the Commission will be looking at in order to strengthen the recruitment process, because once the judge is appointed, barring misbehavior or severe ill health, it's almost impossible to remove a judge.
A psychometric evaluation is a standard method used to measure an individual's mental capabilities and behavior. Justice Sykes says the Commission will host its very first retreat this year to look at the recruitment and appointment of judicial officers. He says the evaluation is among the recommendations of the 2007 report of the Jamaican Justice System Reform Task Force. The Chief Justice says the report showed that the current system for the appointment of judges is inadequate.
So at the end of the retreat, the expectation is that we will have a detailed recruitment methodology. Process is clearly outlined. The criteria for selection clearly articulated so that when persons are seeking to apply for judicial office, they will know exactly what is expected of them and how the process will be conducted.
Chief Justice Brian Sykes. Opposition spokesperson on Justice, Senator Donna Scott Motley, is calling on the Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom to launch a full and transparent probe into an incident involving police personnel and a 15-year-old student. The incident, which was captured on video and has since gone viral, shows the teen, dressed in his school uniform, engaged in a struggle with two policemen. According to reports, the altercation began when the lawmen attempted to place the boy into a police service vehicle. The teen appeared to resist, prompting a physical confrontation during which he sustained injuries. Describing the footage as disturbing and deeply troubling, Senator Scott Motley has condemned the actions of the policemen involved.
The video of this child's suffering has shaken our nation, and it is unacceptable. Those sworn to serve and protect must never become agents of fear or harm. I join the call for Indicom to conduct an immediate, transparent investigation. Every officer involved must be held accountable. But accountability alone is not enough. The Jamaica Constabulary Force must act now to reform its culture. We need mandatory training in human rights, de-escalation, and sensitivity, especially towards our children.
Senator Donna Scott Motley, opposition spokesperson on Justice. In an interview on CVM TV, the teenager recounted that the policemen approached and searched him, finding nothing. He said tensions escalated after he expressed a dislike for the police, which reportedly triggered the aggressive encounter. The teen's mother has reportedly made a report to the Inspectorate and Professional Standards Oversight Bureau, IPROBE. Nationwide News understands that businessman Adrian Peart has applied to represent the Jamaica Labour Party GLP in Southeast St. Anne at the next general election. Peart, who was recently defeated in an internal runoff for South Manchester, has reportedly turned his attention to the traditionally safe PNP seat in the Garden Parish. It's understood Peart has received the endorsement of the constituency executive in Southeast St. Anne. Nationwide sources say the businessman has also been meeting with key party representatives in all 4 divisions of the constituency. Peart's interest in the constituency has not gone unnoticed by the opposition People's National Party PNP. At a recent campaign launch for the PNP standard bearer in the seat, Dr. Kenneth Russell, the party's General Secretary, Dr. Dayton Campbell, appeared to take aim at Peart.
There was a gentleman that applied to run for the PNP in South Manchester, and we told him, no, you're not quite ready yet. Him say, all right, him apply for run for the poorest division in South Manchester for the PNP. We said, no, you're not quite ready yet. Him switch side and go over the JLP side and say, him want apply for run for the JLP in South Manchester. Them tell him, no, you're not ready yet. And now them send him from Manchester, send him come up here for Kenneth, give him a beating, cause him have to get a beating, he must get a beating.
Dr. Dayton Campbell. When contacted, Peart's camp declined to comment. Southeast St. Anne has been represented in Parliament by the PNP's Lisa Hanna since 2007. She won the seat by 31 votes at the September 2020 general election. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Already have a T-Tag for your vehicle? Just top it up and go through. You can now conveniently add funds to your T-Tag on WhatsApp. Just save our T-Tag WhatsApp number 876-355-3336 and send us a message when you want to top up. Top up your T-Tag and continue to go through quicker and cheaper on Transjam highways.
In regional and international news this morning, regional news, the government of Guyana plans to table the long-anticipated Oil Pollution Prevention, Preparedness, Response and Responsibility Bill in the National Assembly next Monday. The bill establishes a modern and comprehensive legal framework to prevent oil spills, enhance national preparedness, ensure timely and effective response, and hold responsible parties accountable for damage caused. The proposed legislation, referred to as the Oil Spill Bill, was outlined by Guyana's Attorney General Anil Nandlal during his weekly program Issues in the News earlier this week. He says with the expansion of Guyana's oil and gas industry, a strong legislative system is needed to protect the environment and ensure everyone involved in petroleum activities operates safely. The Attorney General says the bill ensures that every person and or entity involved in any petroleum activities, including drilling, exploring, producing, storing, handling, transportation of petroleum products, oil and gas, shall be held to the highest standards of operational safety and environmental responsibility. In international news, a senior Russian general died in a car blast in the Russian city of Balashikha Friday morning. Yaroslav Moskalik is the deputy head of the main operations directorate of the General Staff of the Russian Armed Forces. According to Russia's investigative committee, he was killed in the explosion of a Volkswagen Golf. It says the blast was caused by an improvised explosive device packed with shrapnel. The investigative committee said it has opened a criminal probe into the case. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
Taxi drivers, are you ready to earn more? Join Amber on Time and keep 100% of your fares in the first month. No commission, no catch. Plus, in your second month, we'll install a free vehicle tracker to help keep you and your car safe. Stolen vehicle recovery and panic button response are also on us. And guess what? On May 3rd and 4th, come to 13 Haining Road. Snacks and drinks are on us. Come link up, ask questions, sign up on the spot, and level up with Amber on Time, Jamaica's taxi app built just for you.
Every tap brings you closer to winnings with NCB ePOS. Start accepting card payments on your mobile device for a chance to win a $200,000 cash prize, a business consultancy, and a digital marketing package. Plus, the merchant with the most transactions each month wins a $100,000 cash prize. From April 4 to July 25, 2025, every tap increases your chances to win. Visit jncb.com/everytapcounts to sign up today. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
At Kia, driving your future means joining the movement that inspires. Whether it's the small but mighty Picanto hatchback or the top-of-the-line tech-rich Sorento SUV, there's a Kia that perfectly fits your lifestyle and your budget. ATL Automotive has gotten Jamaicans behind the wheels of thousands of Kias for the past 7 years. And we're ready to get you behind the wheel of a Kia too. Simply visit the nearest Kia showroom for a test drive now.
Time now for your morning sports. The 129th Penn Relays continue on Friday at Franklin Field in Philadelphia, with action getting underway at 8 a.m. Jamaica time. It's shaping up to be another big day for Jamaican high schools, as 7 will go in the Championship of America's 4x100 relay finals in the afternoon. Calabar High will take the fastest time into the final after winning their heat in 40.24 seconds on Thursday. Defending champions Excelsior, along with Kingston College Edwin Allen Stetz and William Knibb are also in the final. 3 Jamaican schools will be in the 4x800 final as defending champions Jamaica College failed to make it to the top 12. Edwin Allen, along with Kingston College and Calabar, will carry Jamaican hopes. Defending champions Kingston College are also into the 4x400 final along with 4 other Jamaican schools. Calabar is the fastest of the Jamaican schools going in after clocking 3 minutes, 11.58 seconds in their heat. The other Jamaican schools in this afternoon's final are Excelsior, Jamaica College, and Stetz. Meanwhile, Despero Ray of Kingston College, St. Elizabeth Tech's Roy Hunter, and Jamaica College's Michael Andre Edwards won the high school boys individual field events titles on the opening day. The girls will make their entry into the relays on Friday in Championship of America's qualifying events. Grace Headley Cup champions St. Elizabeth Technical appear on their way to capturing the Issa Grace Spalding Cup playoff title against urban area champions Excelsior High at Stetz. Excelsior will resume on today's third and final day on 16 without loss, trailing by 185. On Thursday, Tyreek Bryan slammed a 239 as Stetz were dismissed for 328 in response to Excelsior's 127 all-out. Nikolai McKenzie ended with 6 for 93 bowling for Excelsior. The inaugural West Indies Breakout League T20 cricket tournament bowls off on Friday, with 4 of the 6 teams in action. Guyana Rainforest Rangers up against Windward Islands Infernos, while Trinidad and Tobago Legions play Barbados Pelicans. All games in the tournament are set for Brian Lara Academy in Tobago. Jamaica Titans, which is coached by former Jamaican West Indies spinner Nikita Miller, will bow into action on Saturday against Leeward Islands Thunders. This new competition is designed to spotlight emerging talent from across the Caribbean. Players eligible to participate must be under 30 years old or at the start of the tournament have played fewer than 40 List A T20 matches and fewer than 10 international T20s. Each team is closely affiliated with a Caribbean Premier League franchise, providing players with an opportunity to showcase their skills on a larger stage and progress their cricketing careers. And that's it for your morning sports.
A Campari Boulevard, Carnival Road, Mad Sunday. Time for left here, make sure no reach Campari Boulevard. No live performance, stage crossing. Come out with your crew, Campari flossing.
Join us at Campari Boulevard as we take over Emmanuel Road on Trafalgar Road like never before on April 27th, Carnival Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Enjoy Campari drink specials all day. Watch revelers cross our epic Campari stage with Exodus and Yardmass. Admission free, and make sure you wear red. It's Campari Red Passion Carnival. Embrace the mix. Must be 18 years old. Let's drink responsibly.
You ever get bun yet? The bun was sweet so much you can't resist. Me not talk about heartbreak. Me not talk about the bun with full of spice, raisin, and the perfect glaze. Mother's Bakery Easter bun. This is the bun where everybody need this Easter. If you don't get bun, you not live life right. Mother's Bakery Easter bun. Get the best type of bun from the right people. Mother's Bakery Easter bun. The bun you have to get with love in every bite. Available in select supermarkets.
In business this morning, California's economy has overtaken that of the country of Japan, making the U.S. state the fourth largest global economic force. This is according to new data from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis. The data shows that California's gross domestic product, GDP, hit $4.10 trillion in 2024. Japan's was registered at $4.01 trillion. The state now only trails Germany, China, and the U.S. as a whole. California has the largest share of manufacturing and agricultural production in the U.S. It is also home to leading technological innovation, the center of the world's entertainment industry, and the country's two largest seaports. Governor Gavin Newsom says the state isn't merely keeping pace with the world, it is setting the pace. Newsom has spoken out against President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs and voiced a concern about the future of the state's economy. He has filed a lawsuit challenging Trump's authority to impose the levies, which have caused disruption to global markets and trade. Newsom is a prominent Democrat and potential presidential candidate for 2028. Top executives at well-known U.S. firms are signaling the impact President Trump's tariffs are having on their companies and the wider economy. Technology giant Intel, footwear maker Skechers, and consumer goods firm Procter & Gamble have either cut their profit forecasts or withdrawn them, citing economic uncertainty. President Trump has been trying to rebalance relations with key trading partners by using steep tariffs to bring them to the negotiating table. No new trade agreements between the U.S. and other countries have yet been announced, but there have been signs of progress in talks with South Korea. Intel's chief financial officer David Zinsner, during a call with investors, said the very fluid trade policies in the U.S. and beyond, as well as regulatory risks, have increased the chance of an economic slowdown, with the probability of a recession growing. The California-based firm announced gloomy profit and revenue forecasts, and Zinsner says the company will see costs increase. Intel's shares dropped by more than 5% in extended trading after those remarks. And in foreign exchange trading this morning, the Jamaican dollar has gained 9 cents and will open trading today, selling for an average $158.91 against the benchmark U.S. dollar. The Jamaican dollar has gained 10 cents and will open trading today, selling for an average $115 against the Canadian. And finally, the Jamaican has lost 34 cents and will open trading today, selling for an average $210.78 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:30.
Switch to your JUTC Smart Fare Card by May 31, 2025. The temperature brought to you by JUTC Smart Fare Card. Transforming your daily commute with smarter, easier, and more reliable travel is
24 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 25 out west in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 20 degrees Celsius.
Yo, my boss. Yo, my general. Yo, my king. Yeah. The new BK Mega Stacker. Come for run everything. Choose your style. Double, triple, or quad stack. Juicy grilled beef. Plus crispy bacon, some stackerific sauce, and layers of melted cheese. So if you think you can angle it, stackify yourself today. Order the BK Mega Stacker and have it your way. The new BK Mega Stacker. Built for satisfaction. Limited time. Only at Burger King.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Already have a T-Tag for your vehicle? Just top it up and go through. You can now conveniently add funds to your T-Tag on WhatsApp. Just save our T-Tag WhatsApp number 876-355-3336 and send us a message when you want to top up. Top up your T-Tag and continue to go through quicker and cheaper on Transjam highways.
dress. One with your fakeness in the right back.
Well, I don't have time to beef. Lucky for you, my friend. I in a good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes right up to the limits. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah. Good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes ain't cross in a minute. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah. My friend and them couldn't tell you about me. Good people is good people. We only want love and we so good. Yeah. My family couldn't tell you about me. Good people is good people. We only want love. Well, every man make their choices. I say we make sacrifices. We block out the noises. We have to forget the voices. One day we gon' make it. We don't have to fake it. I give you my best. I give you the chain of my neck. I give you my love and respect. But now hear the story. You vex with me, like I know you something. Like I know you something. When I hear the show now, is you vex with me, like I know the wrong thing. Like I know you something.
Good morning.
I in a good spirit.
I feel in a
good spirits. The vibes right up to the limits. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah.
I in a good spirit.
I drink in a good spirit.
I'm in a good spirit this morning, Siobhan. It's a good morning here on Nationwide this morning. If you're listening on the 90 FM band and you're in the hearing of my voice, I'm Sondre Roden, and it's a good morning to you.
I'm Siobhan Campbell, and I had to remind my co-host that yes, it is the carnival period of time, but this is still a news and current affairs program. And we still have news and current affairs. How are you, Sondre?
I was just liking the song that's playing. It says good spirit. Oh my gosh.
Oh, we're in good spirits, are we not?
Boy. I think it's Siobhan asked Mr. King to play this song. I think Siobhan, weren't you who asked for this?
Not at all.
Mr. King, play the next song.
I'm not in the carnival spirit at all.
You don't have to be in the spirit. It says a good spirit. It says a good carnival spirit. You know, there's a difference. Oh gosh, I see Killian Henry some are too boring, so they need some good spirit. Look at that. Morning to you, Otis. Angie Favorable, I'm seeing you. Good morning, Albert Morgan, Linton Archer, Kurt Buchanan, PB. Good morning, all of you in the chat. Mark Greenswood, Robert McKenzie. Good morning, Arlene Rowe.
So are you, Sondre? You look like you're definitely in good spirits.
You know, I am, and I'd look like I rested, but I didn't really. But I'm fine. I got 1 hour of sleep, but yeah, I don't know. There was just a movie that I liked, and I watched it.
I hear I was assuming you stayed up to muse on something important.
No. You know, at first it was, and then I was like, Do you ever have that urge, Siobhan, when you're having any form of meal to just watch something, but it turns out into just watching until you're like, this is the end of... Have you ever been sucked in by like some series or some movie that you're like, I didn't find this interesting at first, but this storyline is quite interesting. And it did have some historical context.
I suppose that has happened to me. It depends.
Yeah. Al Ellis is saying that you want to read news. That's my point, Al. That's my point. How much news? How much news can we read?
Reading news, son. A lot is happening in the world outside of Carnival, is it not?
I'm not even talking about Carnival. I'm talking about the energy that we have to bring on the Friday program. And yeah, so Killian is saying I need to borrow some of George's. And as a matter of fact, if George is in the hearing of my voice right now, George, you are hearing me. I know you're hearing me because I know you're hearing me. George, the people have said that. I have to borrow some of your energy. And then Siobhan is saying I need to tone down my energy.
I don't think anybody can match George's energy. I don't know what George does. 12 o'clock in the night, George still a talk. 1 o'clock in the morning, George still a talk. 3 o'clock in the morning. So when does George actually go to bed, sleep, and then finish and come to work? Because I don't see where he does that in that period of time.
Well, I think the listeners want to know when, because he is obviously well rested when he is here in the mornings. I can tell that I'm not well rested today, but I had to come with some level of energy, and then Siobhan has propped me up to be even more energetic.
I have tempered your expectations.
Which propped me up to be even more energetic.
So you're one of those carnival people. I expect to see you out on the...
No, you don't expect to see me out. But what I will say is that there is some positive music sometimes in soca. I'm bringing together and unifying music. I think generally in a lot of genres, I don't listen to a lot of genres though. Generally in some genres you'll hear one or two songs that resonate with you, but I'm very limited in my music taste, which is why I don't try to argue with George or Mr. King.
No, nobody argues with George when it comes to music.
Yeah, when it comes on to music, I leave them where they are, because I listen to a very, very limited set of things. And Mr. King only listens to me sometimes when sometimes, when sometimes he's in tune, but sometimes he's on a different wavelength. So, yeah. Oh, they're saying it's payday. I didn't even realize it's payday.
Actually, today is the 25th. And I should ask listeners now, because I checked with the TAJ, and that new threshold increase, while it doesn't necessarily translate to every single business. I think it depends on each payroll system. So, did you all get your little boost in the little threshold, or enough to wait till next month? I wonder how many people have actually gotten that little pleasant surprise in their paycheck this afternoon.
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I want to know. Guess what, listeners? I will not tell you if I got it, but what I will say is I want to know. But I won't tell you, but I want to know. It's something good to know. So if you receive your pay slip, if you receive it, then if you want to share with us that, hey, you get how much did they say it was again?
It's 1.7 to 1.8.
Okay, well,
about $8,000 would be the additional amount for most persons.
Boy, that's a good food, Well, if it's what most persons are getting, I could do well with that. I can do well with that. No, I have no shame in my game. I can do well with that. What I like to buy for food, I can do well with that. I see. I've plotted the way for that $8,000. It's spent. I don't know if I've gotten it, but it's spent.
I do. Someone asked if I have a what's on my mind. Not necessarily a what's on my mind, but I do have a bit of something troubling me from yesterday. I don't know. You saw that latest fracas between Dr. Alfred Dawes and the Ministry of Health.
Yeah, I've been reading about it, hearing about it, and there seems to be two sides to the story, because I saw that the chair of the authority came out and said, hey, that's not the case. We presented the documents and stuff. So and if you understand government procurement in any way, shape or form, it's really hard to go around that process. If you go around that process, you literally are in breach.
That's when you have a visit from the auditor
Exactly, you literally are in breach. So if you have those allegations, you better have proof, because that process is actually one of a lengthy process, but a very meticulous process. And if it goes over a certain threshold, they also have to submit these documents further to the PPC for them to go through and then ensure they check everything out. So it's not even just on the authority that now goes over to the regulators, etc. So it's a very meticulous process. So if you have those allegations, any doctor, any civil servant, anybody, any politician, if you have allegations about anything that has to do with procurement, you have to come with your evidence, because more likely those people have crossed their T's and dotted their I's.
Precisely. My problem, it seems that we were of one mind yesterday, me and Ricardo, is that when I initially saw that press release, because it's not the first time Dr. Dawes has raised this matter of the drill, I have to say my first reaction was that my eyes just rolled. And then I had to check myself because that's not the reaction you want to have as somebody whose job is to report the news. But my problem is Dr. Dawes has made quite a bit of faux pas and wolf cries so very often on public platforms that it becomes very difficult to take him seriously, and that is not the reaction you want to have when an opposition spokesman brings up something. He and another one among the PNP have that same problem, and I'm not even afraid to walk away from it. It's Ian Hales. They both have this problem of sounding the alarm over things that are readily explained and properly explained if you just take a minute to think about it. And I think the intent, which is to grab headlines and score political points, it does not play in their favor when what they initially said is then proven to be utterly false.
Yeah,
And as I said, as someone who sits in the chair and I have to make sure that what I bring to the audience is credible information, I do not want to be second guessing the opposition spokesman on health. I do not want to have to do that. And also I do not want to be second guessing a potential future parliamentarian who could hold a cabinet post in the future. I don't want to be in that position. And I think they need to take a second to do some introspection and ensure that when they come to the Jamaican people with something, it's something that can be taken credibly.
Yeah, it's this idea of press releases just, being put out because, there's this issue, there's that issue without actually doing any real research, looking at any evidence, even contacting the very people that you're going to put the press release out about, just throwing allegations here and there. And I'm like, even what happened with the NWC and the junior spokesperson, as it were, who came out, the council at the time came out about that and the water, etc. And I'm like, come on, do some research, talk to the people, because I literally remember interviewing a person from NWC right here on Nationwide this morning, and when he explained it, he literally said, hey, what he said was false because that is not how it actually goes, and he explained the technicalities of it and all of that. And that says a lot about us just having faith in the words of the persons who would have to be lawmakers, legal influencers as it relates to how our policies and our laws are made.
It goes back to the matter when Dawes says there was a crisis brewing at the Kingston Public Hospital. And he said, well, I have the evidence, I have the report. And then he presented the report and said, well, let me look at this report, only to find the report was months old, back from November. So wouldn't you realistically expect that this matter would have been trained to be corrected over the period? Wouldn't you then go and seek an update as to where those corrective measures are, only for the ministry to release a press release the very next day? Oh, by the way, this issue has been solved. And even that report that he relied on didn't say anything about the crisis. It said, yes, there's a mold issue. Here are the steps you need to take to address it. It never said you need to evacuate the building. It never said you needed to shut down anything. It just said, please attend to the problem as quickly as you possibly can, which they did. And the problem was solved. And to me, what was the fracas about?
Yeah, it's just to catch the headlines, to release something at this point. And I do agree with you. It's worrying. It's a worrying trend when particularly those who aim for public office continue to have, their word being questioned so often.
And it becomes an even further problem as the potential future Minister of Health. The people you suggest are covering up, bringing the country closer to a crisis, are the same people you would have to govern.
It's crazy.
Do you want them to have to undermine you while you are in government?
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 6:49.
Unlock your dream home with a mortgage loan from JPS and Partners. Up to $40 million per couple, plus your NHT benefits. Conditions apply. The temperature, compliments of JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, your financial partner for life, is...
It's a cool 25 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston. It's the same out west in Montego Bay. And it's even cooler, 20 degrees Celsius out in Manchester.
Don't fall victim to deepfakes.
Watch out.
Protect yourself.
How are this
For
on
more
my TV?
information, visit broadcastingcommission.org or
Here ya,
scan
baby.
the QR code on screen.
Deepfake. No deepfake can't catch me.
Junior, you know say AI can make something will look and sound just like you? One day Junior get a voice note from her granny. Say the food done, the medication done, and she need money urgently.
Need money urgently. But Miss Pat no like ask people for things.
And as so comes, Judy get suspicious.
So what she do?
She asks the neighbor to go check pan her. Junior, the lady quite alright over there make her Sunday dinner.
So the voice note a deep fake.
Yes, my love. Come, your food ready.
Right now it look like we have to outsmart the AI. But wait, I really want dege dumpling here, give me.
Me I wonder if AI can make one deep fake dumpling for you.
To learn more about deepfakes, visit www.broadcastingcommission.org.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice in the electrical business.
New KFC Saucy Wings. Attention all wings lovers. KFC Saucy Wings with 2 new flavors. Saucy Wings. Mango habanero and buffalo. Hot, spicy. KFC we have Saucy Wings. Delicious, spicy, the best. So a new KFC Saucy Wings crush the rest. Nobody does wings like KFC. New Saucy Wings is for me.
New KFC Saucy Wings. Delicious, hot, and spicy wings tossed in savory mango habanero or buffalo sauce. Wings that will crunch the rest. New KFC Saucy Wings. It's finger licking good.
Alrighty, when you hear those horns, you know what time it is. It's time for Street Smart. Of course, we have Ludlow McLean on the line to tell us what's going on out there in our streets. Good morning, Ludlow.
All right, morning, Sandre. Morning, Siobhan. I heard Siobhan's voice.
Good morning. How are you, Ludlow?
Yes. Just a quick update, though. Though some areas are really moving swiftly and movement good. Hagley Park Road and some parts of Maxfield Avenue coming up. However, when you get onto Eastwood Park Road, you really have a challenge to get onto South Oden Avenue. It's really bumper to bumper. All vehicles, public passenger vehicles, private vehicles, even a garbage truck I saw going around there. And that's really bumper to bumper as they make their way across the Constance Spring Road. So all of that area really has challenge. But once you clear that area, after Tree Road is Smooth Sailing, Pope Road, and all of these areas in this environment is pretty good movement. So until about 7:18, I return it to the studios.
All right, thank you so much, Ludlow, for giving us that first report. And now we'll turn to our word of the day.
And the word of the day, listeners, is R-A-M-O-S-E. That is R-A-M-O-S-E.
Ramos. Ramos. Ramos.
Yes, listeners, that is R-A-M-O-S-E, Ramos. It means having many branches or branching. It's an adjective. And in a sentence, it says, with almost a dozen immortal emperors jostling for position, high-level Inca society was characterized by Ramos' political intrigue of scale that would have delighted the Medici. So, there you have it, listeners. R-A-M-O-S-E. R-A-M-O-S-E.
Your child is cranky, running a fever, and going through tissues like there's no tomorrow. You see a rash, and other parents from your child's daycare or school says their child hasn't been feeling well either. And now, it's all making sense. It might be hand, foot, and mouth disease, a common but highly contagious childhood illness that makes its way very quickly through households, daycares, and schools. In Parenting Tips today, What to know about hand, foot, and mouth disease. It is best known for the blister-like rash that appears on the, you guessed it, hands, feet, and mouth. Contrary to its name, the rash can appear all over the body. What are the stages of hand, foot, and mouth disease? Stage 1, days 1 to 2, cold flu-like symptoms. The first symptoms of hand, foot, and mouth disease are similar to a cold and include fever, lack of appetite, runny nose, sore throat. Stage 2, day 3, mouth sores. After the initial symptoms set in, you may notice small sores inside of your mouth, including your gums, tongue, and roof of your mouth. These spots may appear like small red bumps or larger open sores. These sores can make swallowing painful, so it's common for people with hand, foot, and mouth disease to not want to eat. Stage 3, day 4, skin rash. In the next day, you may notice sores spread to the hands and feet and possibly elsewhere. Some people experience small red spots that don't cause any discomfort. Others may have larger spots, sometimes filled with pus, that may be painful. Avoid touching the rash as much as possible and wash your hands thoroughly after coming in contact with blisters. Hand, foot, and mouth disease can be spread in several ways. Droplets expelled when a person who is infected coughs or sneezes. Direct contact with blisters. Shared items like utensils, towels, clothing, surfaces, and toys. You can do several things to prevent or reduce the spread of hand, foot, and mouth disease. Wash your hands often. Disinfect any contaminated surfaces with water and bleach or sanitizing wipes. Wash your child's clothing, bedding, and any other soiled items. Stay away from other people, especially during the first few days of the illness. Hand, foot, and mouth disease has no specific treatment, but you can treat symptoms of the virus with over-the-counter pain medications. It's also important to stay hydrated because mouth sores can make eating and drinking uncomfortable, and dehydration is a common side effect. Avoid foods and drinks that are acidic, like orange juice, as they can irritate mouth sores. Talk with a healthcare provider if the fever doesn't go away after 3 days, or if all symptoms don't improve after 10 days. That's it for parenting tips. Until next time.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
I remember telling someone how good they looked one day and got a very strange response. I believe it was, "You're just being nice." I guess some people just don't know how to take a compliment. Let's look at how we can accept compliments in a gracious manner without letting them go to our heads. I'm Tana, and it's time for your lifestyle pages. Consider it a gift. When someone compliments you on anything, your looks, what you're wearing, something you've done, or something you've made, say something polite like thank you and move on. Don't argue. Avoid the urge to counter whatever the person said. Arguing creates a scene that is much more awkward than the compliment. Reciprocate. When someone tells you something they like about you, compliment him or her back in a way that relates to what they said. For example, if they say, "You look very nice today," you can reply, "I appreciate such a compliment from someone who is always so well put together." Tell how the compliment made your day. You would be surprised what a far way it can go. Accepting a compliment does not mean you're conceited, so it's okay to smile with a good old-fashioned thank you. I'm Tana. Catch you next time for Lifestyle Pages.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Jamaica, let's make road safety a priority. Slow down, stay focused. Remember, every life matters. The time brought to you by the JIS is...
News time, 7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore, Kingston Normal Bay. The temperature by National Supply is
5 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 20 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news this morning, Friday, April 25, 2025, the Integrity Commission advertises Greg Christie's post suggesting he's on his way out as Executive Director. Labour Ministry applies temporary brakes on Chinese auto mechanics operating in Ferry St. Catherine. Manchester businessman Adian Peart applies to represent the JLP in Southeast St. Anne. And an international news, senior Russian general killed in car blast just outside Moscow.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. There are more indicators this morning that the departure of Greg Christie from his role as Executive Director of the Integrity Commission is imminent. The Commission on Thursday advertised the role of Executive Director via social media. Potential applicants have been told to indicate their interest by May 9, 2025. Christie's contract is reportedly due to expire on May 18 this year. The Integrity Commission has also advertised the post of Director of Information and Complaints. That post is currently held by Craig Beresford. Nationwide News understands that Beresford may be in line for a promotion to Greg Christie's job. Beresford reportedly has a strained working relationship with some colleagues at the Commission. His contract as Director of Information and Complaints is to expire on July 14 this year. The role of Director of Investigation, currently occupied by Kevin Stevenson, has not been advertised. As in the case of Greg Christie, Stevenson's contract is due to expire on May 18 this year. It's not immediately clear whether the Integrity Commission will renew his contract. The Wholehearted Car Services Company in Ferry St. Catherine has been ordered to suspend operations until the immigration status of its Chinese employees has been verified. The directive has been issued by the Work Permit Department of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. This follows a Nationwide News exclusive on Thursday, which revealed that the 10 Chinese mechanics at the company do not have valid work permits. Robian Williams has more.
Speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Thursday, Labour Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says a team of investigators from its Work Permit Department has engaged the Chinese mechanics in an aim to confirm their work status. Until that process is concluded, they are to desist from offering any mechanical services.
The team that interacted with them today did provide them with certain instructions. Among those instructions I know would be that until we can conclude positively, or until whatever breaches, if any, that are identified are rectified, that they should not be operating. The officers from our work permit unit would have provided them with a clear guideline of what is necessary and indicated to them that if they do not have the relevant work permit to operate this specific type of business, they are to shut down their operation until otherwise.
Preliminary reports from the unit suggest that only 2 of the 10 mechanics working at the company may be in possession of a valid work permit. Our sources say the man who claims he's the manager of the facility, Ming Zhen Chen, does indeed have authorization to work on the island. However, we understand that his permit is for work at a haberdashery in Mandeville, Manchester. Minister Charles Jr. says one of the most important aspects of the investigation is the verification of identity.
Anyone can tell you that they are anyone. And so a big part of the process is to ensure that we are connecting names to identity in the right way. Which is why I say very carefully that we can confirm that 2 names that we have been given are connected appropriately to work permits relating to our haberdashery. We are in the middle of an active investigation, and so I can't speak to the specific status of those individuals, but what I can assure you is that it is a cross-cutting investigation, and we are examining all aspects, including documentation, legal status, everything that is required to ensure compliance with the law.
While acknowledging that motorists have flooded the Chinese-owned repair shop, Minister Charles Jr. notes that they must operate in compliance with the law.
We recognize that they have been operating, that there are many Jamaicans that have been seeking and receiving service from them, and we don't want persons to get the impression that we're trying to stifle or create barriers to commerce. That is not our intention. That is not our responsibility. Our responsibility responsibility is to make sure that while we facilitate commerce, it must be done in compliance with the law to protect those members of the public who are seeking to take advantage of those services.
Robian Williams for Nationwide News.
Thank you, Robian. Health Minister Dr. Chris Tufton says he's disappointed by the call from his opposition shadow, Dr. Alfred Dawes, for the resignation of Chairman of the Southeast Regional Health Authority, Sarah Wentworth Charles. Dr. Dawes' call follows the decision by Sarah to purchase a neurodrill for use at Bustamante Hospital for Children at a cost he asserts is well above the market price. According to Dr. Dawes, the procurement of the drill is a case of either gross incompetence or corruption. But speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Thursday, Dr. Tufton says the correct procedure was followed.
I am quite disappointed in the utterances of the opposition spokesperson. I am amazed at his rhetoric on a number of things, even understanding the context of the politics, particularly in a case where he raised a concern. He was invited in, or he asked to be he was invited in to discuss it so that the process could be explained. I asked for a report on the matter. I didn't get too involved because the region was dealing with it. The process involved advertising for the product, an evaluation that involved 2 neurosurgeons. It is a neurosurgery, and to simplify, a brain and spinal equipment that does complicated surgeries for children.
The minister says Dr. Dawes' assertions fall flat in the face of the available evidence.
We will just have to keep focus and do what we have to do. What we have now is a piece of equipment that we never had before, that I am told is one of a kind, not just in Jamaica, but the region, and that will save lives. And that is what, as far as I'm concerned, is important. The process was followed, the process right through to the end. PPC approved it, and so I don't see any reason to accuse anyone of corruption or indeed misinformation around how this process worked. And he seems to be having a hard time comprehending that. That's unfortunate.
Meanwhile, Dr. Tufton says while he agrees that Jamaica's health system isn't perfect, he believes the Holness administration has done more than its predecessors to address the biggest concerns.
I think the health system is plagued and has been by a lot of legacy issues, undercapitalization, and to some extent some management issues. I don't think that is impatient of debate. But I also think that it is this government over the 9 years, if you look at it objectively, that has done more to expand to meet the demands of the population. More in terms of budgetary allocation from 60 billion to 140 billion. More in terms of new services. More in terms of medication, over 3 million prescriptions. More in terms of more doctors and nurses through compensation review and expansion of permanent posts. I would never be the one to say it is perfect, because it is not. But it is far better today than it was in 2015.
Dr. Chris Tufton, the Minister of Health and Wellness. Cornwall Regional Hospital has reached its first milestone with the reopening of the facility's administrative wing. The block was officially reopened on Thursday. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Chris Tufton says the repairs to the hospital are set for completion in 2026.
We have a timeline for first quarter next year for the full completion and the full re-engagement. However, the plan is to engage sections of the 10-story building on a periodic basis starting today, and then with time, maybe a few months, you'll go to other areas, and then it will keep moving until we get to the full completion.
The Cornwall Regional Hospital has been undergoing redevelopment works after air quality issues were discovered in 2009. Since rehabilitation works began in 2017, the project has faced escalating costs and delays. Administrative services were subsequently relocated. Dr. Tufton says several departments of the hospital will see a phased reopening over the next year.
We felt that the administrators of the institution needed to be in first, the procurement, accounting, general management, because they are the capacity that deals with coordination and the running of the institution. We're moving from there to some other areas to give support, like the server room, dietary, and so on. And then from there, we'll eventually get to ward spaces and so on. But there's work taking place on every floor of the building now. So you will hear more about other openings and re-engagement in the months to come.
Dr. Tufton was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Thursday. Repairs and overhauls at the hospital cost over $23 billion, including the relocation of services and the restoration of the main building. To date, $1.8 billion have been spent on the relocation of services. Dr. Tufton says the main building's rehabilitation has seen an investment of $3.9 billion. Meanwhile, the opposition spokesperson on tourism, Senator Janice Allen, is criticizing the reopening of the administrative wing at Cornwall Regional. She says it does nothing to restore critical patient services. Senator Allen says there are still no functioning wards or clinical services at the hospital. She says after 8 years and a cost jump from $2 billion to more than $20 billion, Western Jamaica deserves healthcare, not headlines. She also pushed back against suggestions that criticism of the protracted rehabilitation of the hospital and the attendant costs is demoralizing to healthcare workers. Chief Justice Brian Sykes says the Judicial Services Commission, JSC, is considering the use of psychometric evaluation in its recruitment of judges. He was speaking at a swearing-in ceremony at King's House on Thursday.
Critical part of what we will be looking at is the use of psychometric evaluation. And so you're looking at things such as attitudes to authority, willingness to work in teams, willingness to abide by legitimate instructions in terms of the administration of the court, because the court has to have rules by which it operates without compromising the ability of the judge to decide cases as they understand the law and the evidence. So those are things now that the Commission will be looking at in order to strengthen the recruitment process, because once the judge is appointed, barring misbehavior or severe ill health, it's almost impossible to remove a judge.
A psychometric evaluation is a standard method used to measure an individual's mental capabilities and behavior. Justice Sykes says the Commission will host its very first retreat this year to look at the recruitment and appointment of judicial officers. He says the evaluation is among the recommendations of the 2007 report of the Jamaican Justice System Reform Task Force. He says the report showed that the current system for the appointment of judges is inadequate.
So at the end of the retreat, the expectation is that we will have a detailed recruitment methodology. Process is clearly outlined, the criteria for selection clearly articulated, so that when persons are seeking to apply for judicial office, they will know exactly what is expected of them and how the process will be conducted.
That's Chief Justice Brian Sykes. Opposition spokesperson on justice, Senator Donna Scott Motley, is calling on the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, to launch a full and transparent probe into an incident involving police personnel and a 15-year-old student. The incident, which was captured on video and has since gone viral, shows the teen, dressed in school uniform, engaged in a struggle with two policemen. According to reports, the altercation began when the lawman attempted to place the boy into a police service vehicle. The teen appeared to resist, prompting a physical confrontation during which he sustained injuries. Describing the footage as disturbing and deeply troubling, Senator Scott Motley has condemned the actions of the policemen involved.
The video of this child's suffering has shaken our nation, and it is unacceptable. Those sworn to serve and protect must never become agents of fear or harm. I join the call for INDECOM to conduct an immediate, transparent investigation. Every officer involved must be held accountable. But accountability alone is not enough. The Jamaica Constabulary Force must act now to reform its culture. We need mandatory training in human rights, de-escalation, and sensitivity, especially towards our children.
Senator Scott Motley, opposition spokesperson on justice. In an interview on CVM TV, the teenager recounted that the policeman approached and searched him but found nothing. He said tensions escalated after he expressed a dislike for the police, which reportedly triggered the aggressive encounter. The teen's mother has reportedly made a report to the Inspectorate and the Professional Standards Oversight Bureau, IPROBE. Nationwide News understands that businessman Adion Peart has applied to represent the JLP in Southeast St. Anne at the next general election. Peart, who was recently defeated in an internal runoff for South Manchester, has reportedly turned his attention to the traditionally safe PNP seat in the Garden Parish. It's understood Peart has received the endorsement of the constituency executive in South East St. Anne. Nationwide sources say the businessman has also been meeting with key party representatives in all 4 divisions of the constituency. Peart's interest in South East St. Anne has not gone unnoticed by the opposition PNP. At a recent campaign launch for the PNP's standard bearer, Dr. Kenneth Russell, the party's General Secretary, Dr. Dayton Campbell, appeared to take aim at Adion Peart.
There was a gentleman that applied to run for the PNP in South Manchester, and we told him, no, you're not quite ready yet. Him say, alright, him apply for run for the poorest division in South Manchester for the PNP. We said, no, you're not quite ready yet. Him switch side and go over the JLP side and say, him want apply for run for the JLP in South Manchester. Them tell him, no, you're not ready yet. And now them send him from Manchester, send him come up here for Kenneth, give him a beating, cause him have to get a beating, he must get a beating.
Dr. Dayton Campbell, PNP General Secretary. When contacted, Peart's camp declined to comment. Southeast St. Anne has been represented in Parliament by the PNP's Lisa Hanna since 2007. She won the seat by 31 votes at the September 2020 general election. Overseas news now. A senior Russian general died in a car blast in the Russian city of Balashika early on Friday morning. Dead is Lieutenant General Yaroslav Maskolik, a deputy head of the main operations directorate of the General Staff of the Russian Armed Forces. According to Russia's investigative committee, he was killed by an improvised explosive device packed with shrapnel. The device had been placed inside the general's car. The committee did not mention possible suspects, but says it has opened a criminal probe. Friday's attack is the second such attack on a top Russian military officer in 4 months. It follows the killing of Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov on December 17, 2024. Kirillov was hit when a bomb hidden on an electric scooter parked outside his apartment building exploded as he left for his office. That's the news.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:17.
Rent or buy your hurricane supplies from Total Tools. Visit 102 Main Street, Oterius, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston 5, or Lot C6, Drax Hall, St. Anne's Bay. The temperature brought to you by Total Tools Jamaica is
25 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 20 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
A Campari Boulevard, Carnival Road, Mad Sunday. Time for left the yard, sure no reach Campari Boulevard. No flight performance, stage crossing. Come out with your crew, Campari flossing.
Join us at Campari Boulevard as we take over Emmanuel Road on Trafalgar Road like never before on April 27th, Carnival Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Enjoy Campari drink specials all day. Watch revelers cross our epic Campari stage with Exodus and Yardmass. Admission free and make sure you wear red. It's Campari Red Passion Carnival. Embrace the mix. Must be 18 years old to drink responsibly.
Want to reduce your high electricity bills? Then Peak Energy has the solution for you. From grid-tied to hybrid solar inverters with full lithium-ion battery pack. Installation and maintenance packages available. Visit us at Shop 1, 3 Mosquito Valley Road, Red Hill, St. Andrew. Call 876-279-8820 or 944-0668. Or email us at peakenergysolutionsja@gmail.com. Peak Energy for everything solar.
New KFC Saucy Wings. Attention all wings lovers. KFC Saucy Wings with 2 new flavors. Mango habanero and buffalo. Hot, spicy. KFC we have Saucy Wings. Delicious, spicy, the best. Oh, a new KFC Saucy Wings crunch the rest. Nobody does wings like KFC. New Saucy Wings is for me.
New KFC Saucy Wings. Delicious, hot, and spicy wings tossed in savory mango habanero or buffalo sauce. Wings that will crunch the rest. New KFC Saucy Wings. It's finger licking good.
Time now for Street Smarts 2 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning time, George, and our listeners, our motoring public, our commuters, our visitors. I want to make a quick highlight. Mountain, if you're coming up Mountain View, that is northbound, yes, it's pretty good going. However, as you make that cross the intersection of Mountain View Avenue and Polo Road, going across to CV Avenue, and remember, if you're coming from Mountain View, northbound, the lights are out of commission. That's a major intersection, and, a lot of vehicles travel in those directions. So we're asking the relevant authority to sort that one out as quick as possible. It's not the first. I don't know if there's something that is causing that, problem, or the lights. Well, definitely it's not a power cut, so something is happening.
Well, just
Something is
a point,
happening.
Ludlow, that there was those lights were also not working yesterday, but there was a power cut, and then the lights at the other end of Seaview Avenue, the end to go onto Lady Musgrave Road in the vicinity of Vale Royal, and those lights were also out. And Montrose, right? Those lights were also out yesterday, but it was because of the power cut. So I don't know what happened this morning.
All right, I'm not so sure either. All right. But in the meantime, things are moving along in that area. It's building along Trafalgar Road and going across to, if you're on the Waterloo Road section, but no major delays. The really concern was really going through Half the Tree, where there's bumper-to-bumper traffic along Soto Oden Avenue. But once you get onto Half the Tree Road, it's pretty good going. Most of the intersections are getting busy now. And I would like to also say that those of you who are going further down, like Mountain View, to go across to Windward Road and East Queen Street, the movement is pretty good as you make your way into Parade, East, West, and South Parade. Those areas are moving along. It's getting busy, though. By the time we finish this report, definitely we'll have more traffic. But remember, once schools come into play, it's going to be a different situation. But the movement is good. It's going to be later as we end this report. But for the time being, I want to urge your motorists, still not happy with how some motorists drive, the type of overtaking, no proper signals sometimes when they're driving, especially if they intend to overtake. And when they overtake you, it's a sharp, they come back into your, as if they would want to push you off the road. And at night, the bright lights are really horrible. At night, they have some special lights they're driving with, some bright yellow lights or bright blue lights. And I just hope the authorities would see them and do what they're supposed to do. All right, so have yourselves a great weekend. And as usual, at Street Smart, your safety is all concerned. George, over to you.
Thank you, Ludlow McLean there from, our general on the streets talking about the traffic situation. Up next, Front Page. Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
we're back with you. We're on the front page, and of course, we have some very interesting things to talk to you about this morning. Starting with the fact that the president of the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, PSOJ, Metri Siaga, is confident that Jamaica can withstand any negative effects of the projected drop in global growth. The IMF, that's the International Monetary Fund, in its World Economic Outlook projects global growth to drop to about 2.8% in 2025 and 3% in 2026. For Latin America and the Caribbean, growth has been revised down to 2% in 2025 and 2.4% in 2026.
Speaking with Nationwide News, Mr. Siaga says while he's concerned about the numbers, he has no worries about Jamaica's resilience. Mr. Siaga's comments follow a meeting between private sector leaders, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, and Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith at the PSOJ's headquarters in Kingston. Mr. Siaga says the business leaders were encouraged by the discussions, and he joins us now. Good morning, Mr. Siaga. How are you?
Morning, I'm well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Good having you here. We want to just start by hearing from you some of the key takeaways or even action points that you would have gotten from that meeting with the Prime Minister and Minister Johnson-Smith.
Well, it's not unusual for the Prime Minister to come and meet with the private sector from time to time just to get a pulse of what's happening, to see what's really going on the ground, hear complaints, hear problems, tell us about what the future holds, things like that. So this was one of those meetings. We had invited the Prime Minister to come with Minister Johnson to give us some color around what's happening with the global trade wars that are taking place out of the United States and around the world. And I think that to a person, we were pleased with the way that it has been handled to date and with what is planned moving forward. So I think the private sector should, the private sector as a whole, should feel confident that our government is handling this time of uncertainty with great professionalism, and we are no worse off compared to our counterparts than we were before this whole thing started. At this point, however, they made it known clearly to us that this is not something that has been set in stone. It's very fluid, and we just need to wait and watch and see what's happening as things change every day.
Yeah, so on that point, were there any particular policy suggestions or concerns that the private sector would have raised other than the issues of tariffs in that meeting?
No, I think that our focus was around tariffs on goods and around the proposed tariff on ships coming into the region. And I think both matters have been, to this point, handled professionally, and I think we are okay for now. But as I had said on earlier interviews, this is not something that we can claim victory on or state that, listen, we are out of the woods. We are not. We are watching carefully, but I feel that our minister and the government, the cabinet, has a very close eye and is very close to what's happening.
Obviously, there's many things you probably can't discuss based on those meetings, Metri Siaga, but on the matter of the CBI, the Caribbean Basin Initiative, and that issue of the Chinese shipping concerns, did you get some clarity as to how the private sector should proceed on those fronts?
Yeah, at this point, we should proceed with the information that we have. On the shipping situation, the government has, the U.S. government has said for the time being that there will be no effect, or the proposed effect that was being mooted is on hold, and that's not happening now. So from that point of view, we can proceed. In terms of the CBI, the change that has been made, the CBI is now not in effect, and we are scheduled to pay a 10% tariff on goods coming from Jamaica into the U.S. However, and this is important, we are no worse off than any competitor anywhere else in the world. And as a matter of fact, in many cases, we are better off because the duty that we have is 10 and the duty that others have is significantly higher than 10.
All right, hold for us there, Metro Siaga. We're going to go for a break and then we'll come back with more.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is...
It's 7:30.
Fix up with Fleetwood products for your home improvement, personal care, and aromatherapy needs. They have your well-being in mind. Available at retailers island-wide. The temperature by Fleetwood Jamaica is...
It's 27 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston, 26 out west in Montego Bay, and 25 in Mandeville.
The kitchen isn't just a room. It's where life happens, where meals are made, stories are shared, and memories take shape. At Active Home Center, we help you design a kitchen that works for you. Stylish cabinets, top quality appliances, stunning countertops, sleek faucets, sinks, and cabinet poles. Everything in one place. Sit with our experienced kitchen experts and bring your dream kitchen to life. Your dream kitchen starts here. Visit us in Kingston at 84 Constant Spring Road. Active Home Center. More savings, more choices.
New KFC Saucy Wings. Attention all wings lovers. KFC Saucy Wings with 2 new flavors. Mango habanero and buffalo. Spicy. KFC we have delicious. Spicy the best. So a new KFC Saucy Wings crush the rest. Nobody does wings like KFC. New Saucy Wings is for me.
New KFC Saucy Wings. Delicious, hot, and spicy wings tossed in savory mango habanero or buffalo sauce. Wings that will crunch the rest. New KFC Saucy Wings. It's finger licking good.
Celebrate mom with the Jamaica Observer's For Moms Mother's Day promotion. Win big for mom with a $50,000 cash prize, appliances, gift certificates, movie passes, and more. Just spend $6,000 or more with your multi-link card. Grab the Daily Observer, complete the entry form, and submit it with your receipt. 4 lucky moms will win. Enter by May 16th and make this Mother's Day unforgettable. See the Jamaica Observer for more details. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act.
Answer's Mother's Day sale up to 70% off. Up to 70% off the best brands for mom. Answer's Gifts at Home, Tropical Plaza, and Answer's for Children, Tropical Plaza and Sovereign Center. Answer's Mother's Day sale till May 17, 2025.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers. We're talking economy with the PSOJ president, Metri Siaga. He spoke with, he and his other individuals at this PSOJ spoke with the Prime Minister on this matter of global trade and the other concerns popping up recently due to the actions of the U.S. administration. And Mr. Siaga joins us now. So you said that the matter is essentially as it is now. Jamaica is no better or worse off than any other trading partner along the world when it comes to U.S. trade, Mr. Siaga. So how do you proceed now with that information in terms of capitalizing on the best potential export markets for Jamaica?
So I think the U.S. still remains an exceptional market for us. And one that we have not taken full advantage of. We have a huge trade deficit with the U.S. We import a lot of goods from the U.S. and we export very little to the U.S. They are the largest, richest market in the world, and they are at our doorsteps. Our location to the U.S. affords us the opportunity to get goods there quickly, inexpensively, and we need to take advantage of that. We simply have not so done. And now that we are in a much more advantageous position compared to our trading partners, to the Chinas of this world that have 135% duty going into the U.S. Jamaica needs to look to these countries to form relationships with them to see if we can manufacture and add value for them here in Jamaica and export to the U.S. under our trade agreements. And I think that's where the opportunity lies. So, and we discussed it yesterday with the Prime Minister and Minister Johnson, that the way for us to do that is we have developed a very, very vibrant SEZ sector. For the most part, what we have done is used it for the BPO sector, and we need to now start using it for manufacturing and value added, and bring companies into these special economic zones for adding the value with the Jamaican labor, with Jamaica value add, and send those products into the U.S.
I mean, Mr. Siaga, well, again, obviously there are things that you can't say based on those discussions, I'm sure, but based on what you've outlined here, it sounds like some planning is in train as to pushing Jamaica in that direction.
Yes, and I don't think it's any secret, and I can talk about it. The Prime Minister has stated that this is the way that we need to go as an economy. Because, listen, this is all underpinned by the Prime Minister's recent discussion with us and with the nation about pivoting to growth. And when the government wants to pivot to growth, there has to be a roadmap to so do. And bringing companies in, investors in, to manufacture and to add value for export is a critical component of that roadmap.
Given the impact on the CARICOM region in general, is there more collaboration being considered as it relates to our regional counterparts in terms of businesses and how we deal with our export and our trade?
The truth is that there needs to be more collaboration. There has always needed to be more collaboration within CARICOM, and we simply don't have it yet. I hope that this opportunity, and I'm going to call it an opportunity, brings us closer together as CARICOM and allows us to do more together. You see, the truth be told is that there are no very big companies in Jamaica or in the Caribbean for that matter. When you compare them to companies internationally, we're all small companies. Even the Wisynco's and the Graces and the Lascos of Jamaica are small companies internationally. And we need to start thinking much bigger as a country and as a region. And collaboration is certainly one of the ways that we can do that.
And while I appreciate that there needs to be a partnership of sorts between the government and the private sector, what about the private sector undergoing many of these initiatives on its own initiative? Do you think there should be that level of entrepreneurship on the part of the private sector?
Absolutely. But the private sector cannot be given the opportunity to run in a race and then steel weights are put on our ankles. So what we need is those steel weights to be removed, and what we need is the government to put policies in place that will support same. The government needs to remove the bureaucracy and red tape that exists for us to do the things that we need to do. Government is not going to produce growth. The private sector is going to produce growth. What the government's job is to ensure that the roadblocks to that growth are not in place.
And on the matter of that red tape and bureaucracy, the Prime Minister's Aspire initiative, I know a few things have been announced under that in terms of clearing away some of that red tape. Did the Prime Minister give any assurances as to the thrust going forward and to how that is going to be accelerated?
He told us to meet with Minister Marks, Audrey Marks, which we plan to do next week, to try and work out some details and give our suggestions as to how best the government can go about doing that. We have a couple of ideas, but it would be premature for me to discuss them here on the air prior to discussing with Minister Marks, who has been given that responsibility.
Very well, but let's talk generally then, because we spoke about, I believe it was a few weeks ago, a matter of work permits and streamlining that. So let's look at what currently would you say is the biggest bureaucratic hurdle to the private sector?
It's red tape and bureaucracy across every government agency and even ministry. And I will go as far as to say even politicians that get in the way of business being conducted. We need to remove that. And one of the things that we are going to propose, well, I don't want to get into the details, but one of the things we propose is the setting up of our committee that's set up to look at these things. But more on.
Understood. And then, Metri, there was the matter recently in the news about the importance of the environment in how we assess the impact of the political landscape. And one of the things that often people complain about is the environment losing out to business. Do you see that as a problem, or do you think that the country has a proper synergy in that respect?
Yeah, I absolutely do not see it as a problem. I think that as a private sector, as a government, we have put the environment. I think that much more people recognize the fact that it doesn't make sense that we mash up our environment whilst trying to make a buck. And I get the feeling that there are exceptions to what I'm saying, obviously. But I get the feeling that in general, we are very aware of our surroundings, and we are making sure that every single project has the environmental regulators' approval prior to proceeding.
Right, Sir Siaga, considering that we are on the point of environment, when we talk about manufacturing, we look at the environmental permits as something that would have to be considered for businesses with those issues, or may have those issues based on things we'd have seen happen in the past, like spillages, etc. How do you see that hurdle then as it relates to getting approvals in a timely manner, and how would that impact certain businesses or investors from coming into the space as suggested?
I think that what we need to use is a common sense approach. There have been oil spills, but it doesn't mean that we stop ships from coming across the sea. Mm-hmm. What we need to do is put the things in place to ensure that there are the penalties and that there are the preventative measures in place. Once we do that, we need to keep on pushing ahead. We get better at what we do every day by learning from our mistakes. And I think that there are university classes, there are university degrees in the synergies between business and the environment. And that's what we need to do, have professionals in place that look at those synergies and see what is best. I mean, would the world be a cleaner place without cars? Yeah. But would we be as productive? No. So there has to be a balance. Mm-hmm. And we are, within the private sector, we are very clear that we have to keep the environment at the forefront of our discussions.
And finally, from me... Bless you. And finally from me, Mr. Siaga, just a quick question. I read just the World Bank's latest Latin American Caribbean report, and interestingly enough, it says that what Jamaica has accomplished in terms of debt reduction and the creation of EPOC and what we've done over the last decade or so should be held up as a model that the rest of the region should utilize now in this time of global uncertainty. What is your reaction to that, considering Jamaica is now being touted as the model that other Caribbean and Latin American countries should follow?
I would ask all of us to think back to 10 years ago and where we were macroeconomically and what our economy looked and felt like. And the truth be told is that what we have done is a marvelous job, started by the previous administration and followed through by this one. I think that Jamaica, as usual, continues to punch above its weight. And those are big words coming from those reports. And we need to pat ourselves on the back, but make sure that we don't allow those gains to be lost. And one of the ways we can allow those gains to be lost is by not creating growth in our economy. We must grow the size of our economy. We need more people in Jamaica. We need more businesses in Jamaica. We need more value added. We need more exports. And the way we're going to do that is by allowing the private sector to take the shackles off of the private sector and allow us to create new businesses, create international businesses that are exporting. Then we will see a Jamaica that really creates a space for all to do well and for the least fortunate in our population to be provided for in a much better way.
Thank you so much. That's Metri Siaga, president of the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, giving us his comments on the meeting with the Prime Minister and generally the economic overlook from a private sector point of view. We're going for a break, listeners, and we'll be right back with you.
The Time, brought to you by Bird Shack Fried Chicken. Burrata. Buy a 3-piece hat-trick meal and get an extra piece free for a limited time only is...
It's 7:46.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is...
It's 27 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 26 degrees Celsius out west in Montego Bay, and 20 degrees Celsius in the cool hills of Mandeville.
Yo, my boss. Yo, my general. Yo, my king. Yeah. The new BK Mega Stacker. Come for run everything. Choose your style. Double, triple, or quad stack. Juicy grilled beef. Plus crispy bacon, some stackerific sauce, and layers of melted cheese. So if you think you can angle it, stackify yourself today. Order the BK Mega Stacker and have it your way. The new BK Mega Stacker. Built for satisfaction. Limited time. Only at Burger King.
Guilty. Outperform, outlast. Guilty. With top performance. Guilty. Easy Chakama. Reliable. Full stop. Not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electricians. Fancy select tools, free parts and free repairs. Free parts, free repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton. Available at Delta Supply. 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61114. Delta Supply. We service what we sell.
Come to Stewart's Hardware 2-day spring super sale. Friday, April 25th and Saturday, April 26th. 2 days filled with super discounts. Get cement, steel, tiles, blocks, paint, plumbing, power tools, and lots more at super sweet prices. You simply can't afford to miss Stewart's Hardware spring sale. That's April 25th and 26th. There'll be fantastic savings just for you. Stewart's Hardware and Home Center. Building values.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers. In a few seconds, we're going to have a little selection from our Chief Justice, that's Brian Sykes, speaking on matters of the judiciary. But before that, as I just said, when I'm speaking to Metri Siaga, I just wanted to say, because we haven't actually reported this yet, I plan to report this in a little bit, but I just read this report this morning, the path of public debt in the Caribbean. It says the path of public debt varies considerably across the Caribbean and Central America regions. Economic growth and fiscal discipline have contributed to some countries making significant progress in lowering debt to GDP ratios, reaching levels significantly below the pre-pandemic situation. As noted in their October 2023 LACIR, Jamaica's use of the Economic Program Oversight Committee, EPOC, to ensure transparency and build societal consensus around fiscal discipline serves as a model for the LAC region. So, just more kudos coming Jamaica's way from the World Bank, thanks to what has been accomplished over the last few years in terms of fiscal discipline and economic stability.
Good stuff. And we are elated to hear that as we transition into Chief Justice Brian Sykes saying that the Judicial Services Commission, JSC, is considering the use of psychometric evaluations in its recruitment of judges. He says the evaluation is among the recommendations of the 2007 report of the Jamaican Justice System Reform Task Force. He was speaking at a swearing-in ceremony at King's House on Thursday.
So I just wish to congratulate the judges who have been sworn in this morning and to remind them that they are continuing the long and distinguished tradition of judicial officers who have served with excellence in our judiciary at the different levels. They are now coming in or are in the judiciary at an interesting point in our history where we are taking a more deliberate look at the recruitment and appointment of judicial officers. This is part and parcel of giving effect to the Chevron's report of 2007. So despite the fact that it may be considered old, it is still relevant. And we take the observations there made very seriously. And arising from that and other considerations, a committee was established under the leadership of the then Justice of Appeal, Justice Hilary Phillips, and she produced a report in 2020. And that report was the outcome of wide consultation with multiple stakeholders, not just persons within the legal profession, but persons outside of the legal profession, getting a sense of what they think an appropriate or ideal judicial officer should be. So that was done in 2020. Then COVID came along, and then we had to switch now to getting the courts operating. Zoom is now a part of our ordinary everyday life, thanks to COVID, and so we had to be making that kind of adjustment. But now we are coming back to this report, and so, Your Excellency, you may be pleased to know that for the first time, the Judicial Services Commission will be having a retreat. And what will we be doing there? We'll be looking closely at this report. We'll be looking at the role and function of the Judicial Services Commission and how we should go about the selection of judges. And why is this important? We look at Goal 2, Vision 2030, that speaks to creating a secure, cohesive, and just society. There is also National Outcome 5 and National Outcome 6, and both are the two outcomes that are attached to Goal 2 of Vision 2030. And Goal 2 speaks to, or rather National Outcome 5 speaks to reducing crime and violence, improving public safety, and ensuring that citizens feel secure in their communities. And National Outcome 6 speaks to effective governance, that is strengthening the institutions and systems of governance, promoting transparency and accountability, and ensuring that the rule of law is upheld. And both of them are really linked together. So the activities of the police, when they go out and they improve their efficiency and arrest persons, in a democracy, you have only two choices. You either put them before the court or you release them. And so courts have a vital role to play in this whole question of control of crime and making Jamaica a secure, cohesive, and just society. But that now has to be translated now into who are the persons who are going to be presiding in our courts. and how do we select them. So what we have been doing is that we have shifted away, persons may have noticed, from this heavy reliance on seniority. And so
that's Chief Justice Brian Sykes. The Chief Justice says the report showed that the current system for appointment of judges is inadequate.
We say that seniority only comes in as a tiebreaker if you have two candidates and both of them are equally qualified and you really can't separate them by using the other criteria. Then I suppose in that context it may be appropriate to take seniority into account. So you have that consideration. The other consideration too, not that we have had that experience in Jamaica, but we have had the recent experience in Trinidad where, not that I'm castigating the judge, but it is now a matter of public record, where the chief magistrate in Trinidad was selected to go to the High Court. So persons were aware that she had part-heard matters, but persons thought that it was somewhere in the late teens or early 20s in terms of outstanding matters. It turned out to be over 50. And so the question of the reliability of the information, let's put it that way, that she provided to the commission. No, that doesn't mean that there should not have been a proper system of recording the proceedings of the court and knowing exactly how many cases were there. But one would want to think that she had a responsibility to make it very clear to the commission there that it is not 20-something as you may have thought, but is really twice that amount. So that raises all sorts of other issues which are obvious. So the then Chief Justice, or not the then, the current Chief Justice, he had words with her, and they thought that the matter was resolved in a way that would minimize embarrassment to the judiciary and to the judicial officer. Well, she resigned and then went to court and argued that she was pressured into resigning by the Chief Justice. So it eventually reached up to the Privy Council, and the Privy Council pointed out that the only way to remove a judge is by the Section 137 of the Constitution there. But critically though, the Privy Council placed a lot of emphasis on the information provided to the Commission, and actually concluded that, well, let's put it this way, they were sort of indicating to the Chief Justice that though we have decided the matter that she was improperly removed, but should you now choose to utilize Section 137, there is sufficient information there for you to consider. So it served to underscore the importance of the selection process, keeping and recording accurate data, getting the feedback from the relevant bodies, and a critical part of what we will be looking at during the retreat is the use of psychometric evaluation, because in other important areas of national life it is virtually a standard recruiting tool. It is part of the assessment process. And so you're looking at things such as attitudes to authority, willingness to work in teams, willingness to abide by legitimate instructions in terms of the administration of the court, because the court as an institution has to have rules by which it operates without compromising the ability of the judge to decide cases as they understand the law and the evidence. So those are things now that the Commission will be looking at in order to strengthen the recruitment process, because once the judge is appointed, barring misbehavior or severe ill health, it's almost impossible to remove a judge. And so hence the great emphasis on the recruitment process.
That was Chief Justice Brian Sykes. We're going.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
The Coconut Industry Board is celebrating 80 years of serving Jamaica's coconut farmers. The Coconut Industry Board, seeding for the future. The time brought to you by the Coconut Industry Board is...
It's 8 o'clock.
Success, powered by learning. The temperature, brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us is...
It's 27 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston, 26 out west in Montego Bay, and it's a cool 20 in Mandeville.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
In Across Jamaica this Friday morning, opposition spokesperson on justice, Senator Donna Scott Motley, is calling on the Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom to launch a full and a transparent probe into an incident involving police personnel and a 15-year-old student. The incident, which was captured on video and has since gone viral, shows the teen dressed in his school uniform engaged in a struggle with two policemen. According to reports, the altercation began when the lawmen attempted to place the boy into a police service vehicle. The teen appeared to resist, prompting a physical confrontation during which he sustained injuries. Describing the footage as disturbing and deeply troubling, Senator Scott Motley has condemned the actions of the policemen involved.
The video of this child's suffering has shaken our nation, and it is unacceptable. Those sworn to serve and protect must never become agents of fear or harm. I join the call for Indicom to conduct an immediate, transparent investigation. Every officer involved must be held accountable. But accountability alone is not enough. The Jamaica Constabulary Force must act now to reform its culture. We need mandatory training in human rights, de-escalation, and sensitivity, especially towards our children.
Senator Donna Scott Motley, opposition spokesperson on justice. In an interview on CVM TV, the teenager recounted that the policemen approached and searched him, finding nothing. He said tensions escalated after he expressed a dislike for the police, which reportedly triggered the aggressive encounter. The teen's mother has reportedly made a report to the Inspectorate and Professional Standards Oversight Bureau, IPROB. Nationwide News understands that a store in the Taj Mahal shopping center in Ocho Rios, St. Anne was destroyed by fire on Thursday. It's understood that sometime after 4 Thursday afternoon, there was a power outage in the area. According to a maintenance electrician for the premises, one of the store's generators was used during the outage. It's understood that excess load on the circuit caused an explosion which resulted in a fire. The Ocho-Rios Fire Station was alerted and 1 unit responded. The fire was brought under control after 30 minutes. The cost of the damage has not yet been estimated. We'll have more in subsequent newscasts. And that's it for Across Jamaica for this Friday morning. I'm Tawna Thomas.
Who shops at Creative Building Finishes? You, the homeowner who creates luxurious spaces with our floor and wall tiles. The contractor and builder who are convinced that our ceramic tiles are right for the job. The architect and designer who make dreams come true with our wood look and porcelain tiles. Superior customer service, knowledgeable staff, inviting showroom, and you get where this is going, right? Shop 5 Red Hills Road or call 876-929-5553. Get tiles, get Creative Building Finishes.
Tune in to CliffViews Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we broadcast live from Beats and Brand Live at the Emancipation Park on Friday, April 25. Beats and Brands Live is the ultimate celebration of music, creativity, and innovation. This exciting event is part of Intellectual Property Week and brings together the vibrant worlds of business and entertainment under the theme IP and Music, Feel the Beat. Expect a mini expo, live concert, giveaways, and the official opening ceremony, all for free. Vibe with artists, entrepreneurs, and industry insiders powered by Jaipo in partnership with Jaria and other creative powerhouses. Don't miss this fusion of culture, creativity, and commerce. It's where beats meet brands. So tune in to CliffViews Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the Beats and Brand Live at the Emancipation Park on Friday, April 25. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come on, let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers, to this morning. We're now going to go into Jampro Connect. Orchard farming is a type of agriculture that focuses on growing fruit or nut trees for commercial production. Instead of planting seasonal crops like corn and vegetables, farmers grow perennial trees such as apples, oranges, mangoes, avocados, etc. The goal of orchards is to cultivate and harvest these crops over several years, as these trees can produce crops seasonally once they mature. On Jampro Connect Business and Opportunities this week, we focus on the business and benefits of orchard farming. I am joined by Manager of Agribusiness Investments, Marlene Porter. Good morning.
Good, Siobhan, thank you for having me on the program. I'm really excited about this conversation on orchard crops, as you'll see.
I'm happy to have you on, Madam Porto. So explain to our listeners, what exactly is orchard farming and why should farmers consider this venture?
Well, orchard farming is a specialized type of agriculture, one that is focused on the cultivation of fruit and nut-bearing trees, as you said earlier on. Unlike the general farming, like those seasonal crops like vegetables and pepper and root crops, orchard farming is more permanent. It involves perennial plants that can last for 20 to 50 years and still be giving you fruit, and even up to 100 years in some cases. The thing about these orchard crops is that they take longer to get to maturity, somewhere up to 5 years in most instances.
So
in terms of the benefit, you said why should they go into this venture? Right. So at the top of my list is the high profit potential from these from the crops that you can actually cultivate. The return on investment is high. Generally, for these crops, it runs like double digits, high double digits, and even triple digits in terms of percentages sometimes. Once the crop matures, you can get income annually, and the maintenance of these farms is relatively low. When you compare it to seasonal crops, it's way down there. And so the fact that you're able to earn from these trees for so many years, put in minimal new capital investment, shows you that it is an economically viable area for the for farmers to consider. And then again, the market demand is usually high. What we find is that consumers are trying to eat more healthy, have more healthy lifestyles, and so they're moving towards these kinds of fruits and nuts, which we know are more beneficial in terms of health, from a health standpoint. And then, of course, I usually encourage our farmers to go up the value chain when they are doing any crops whatsoever, because the value add means that the more value added products they do, then the more they're able to retain monies from their from the investments that they're taking. So value added products could be like the juices and snacks and flour, all kinds of value-added products can come from it. And finally, because I could go on forever on the benefits, food security itself is a big deal, and for our country. So we also see that as a benefit. Rural communities use some of these orchard crops, the fruits from them, as staples for their survival. And with climate change, it's very important that we focus on climate resilient crops like the orchard crop.
Interesting. And are there any specific orchard crops that you'd recommend for farmers in Jamaica based on demand and the climate that we have here?
The 4 crops that they are being prioritized by the government are really good opportunities. Certainly from a market standpoint, we have so much demand for them right now that it is something we're pushing for our farmers to consider. And these crops are ackee mangoes, breadfruit, and avocado. As I said, the demand is pretty strong on these. In the case of ackee, we have people lining up for the ackee. A buyer also sent me some videos on mangoes when they hit the stores coming from Jamaica or East Indian and our Julie mangoes.
Yes.
People queuing for long lines outside New York stores waiting to get their hands on our mangoes. And for avocados, we have had a buyer who has come down here and said to us, with chains in the USA, do the avocados. Once you do them competitively, of course, because price must matter, and we will take your products. You see, I think there's something in our soil and in our microclimate, Siobhan, that really makes our food taste special, because the consumers ask for ours, our ackee and our mangoes and our breadfruit, that kind of thing. So, I think, and there are opportunities not just in the external market, there are opportunities in our domestic market as well, the hotels We have over 4 million tourists coming in, and they demand these things. There are other orchard crops that are also pretty viable, like coconut. The demand is strong there, papayas, oranges. So we encourage, what we ask is that the farmers talk to us, and we will share more information around these opportunities. I should mention, Siobhan, that there are profiles available on the 4 priority orchard crops that I mentioned, and these give information on like cost of production, things around revenue projections, cash flows, market information. So, this information is there. You're not starting from scratch. You can use it to build out your own project plan. And then again, the government has made available land for the production of these orchard crops. So you have over 1,000 acres allocated for each of them, and some are allocated within the agri-parks as well as outside of the agri-parks. And even if you're not using government land, there are private lands as well. So a great deal of opportunity exists around these 4 crops, and they're being supported by the government. And remember, once you're ready and you look at these profiles and you talk to us, we're there with you throughout the project to guide you and support you along with our partners.
Interesting. Well, as you said, these crops take a long while to grow, so it's quite a bit of investment. So probably a viable strategy is to have those as part of a subset of crops that you're growing. So that's where intercropping comes into place. So how does the orchard crop farming play into intercropping?
Wow, I'm really glad that you mentioned the intercropping aspect of it. Intercropping is a valuable practice. I would say it would be a must-do, because what it does is these are short-term crops. So it provides cash flow for the farmers while they wait the 2 to 5 years to start earning from these orchards. So it is important that they consider it seriously for the additional or interim revenue streams while they wait for the crops to come to full fruition. And apart from that too, when you intercrop, the resources, the inputs you're putting in are now shared across all the other ones. So the water, for example, is not just for the orchard crops, but it is benefiting other things. So there are efficiencies that you can get out of that, and the soil nutrients, because the crops you intercrop with can also put back nutrients and create that kind of biodiversity there. So it's really important that that we consider these things. And they're viable options for intercropping. Let's take, for example, the vegetables, lettuce, kale, callaloo. These are there's so much demand for that right now. That we're importing a lot of these. We can produce them within the orchards. We have the herbs and spices that can intercrop. Ginger, turmeric is doing so amazingly. We're always our premium on the markets out there, and especially with the health benefits now associated with these spices, you realize that the demand is also growing. So even coconut can intercrop with some of our orchard crops as well.
Interesting.
Like with ackee, and you think they're tall trees, so how it can be done, it really can be done though. And these are proven. So, they need to just talk to us and let us give them some more guidance on how this can be done.
And for any farmers or just general businessmen who are interested in pursuing this, how can they reach out to Agri Investment for any additional information?
Okay, so this is actually we're talking from a JAMPRO standpoint here. We're partners with the Agri Investment Corporation, so we work together. They, for example, would have these agri-parks, and once we have our investors, we work with them to get the investors as well within those parks. But even outside of the parks, JAMPRO works with other agencies like the Sugar Company of Jamaica and with private landowners to get companies and farmers land to do the planting. And of course, all our partners, including RADA, the Rural Agricultural Development Agency, we work closely with them because they also have technical expertise expertise that we can work with them to assist farmers as they build out their projects in the orchard crop space.
That is Marlene Porter. She's the manager of agribusiness investments. Thank you so much for that information around orchard cropping. It has been very insightful, and I hope more Jamaican farmers take it up, considering the earning potential for exports and on the local market.
Yes, of course. And there are incentives already that are provided. So, talk to us and we will share those with you.
Thank you so much for that information, Madam Porter. Have a good morning and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
More after this, listeners.
Apply for your NHD refunds at nhd.gov.jm or via the NHD app. Do not click on any links offering to help you. The time by the NHD is...
It's 20 minutes past 8.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The temperature by Fontana Pharmacy, it's all good inside, is...
It's 28 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston, 28 as well in Montego Bay, and 23 out west, 23 in Mandeville.
Tune in to Cliffviews Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we broadcast live from Beats and Brand Live at the Emancipation Park on Friday, April 25. Beats and Brands Live is the ultimate celebration of music, creativity, and innovation. This exciting event is part of Intellectual Property Week and brings together the vibrant worlds of business and entertainment under the theme IP and Music, Feel the Beat. Expect a mini expo, live concert, giveaways, and the official opening ceremony, all for free. Vibe with artists, entrepreneurs, and industry insiders powered by Jaipo in partnership with Jaria and other creative powerhouses. Don't miss this fusion of culture, creativity, and commerce. It's where beats meet brands. So tune in to Cliffviews Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the Beats and Brand Live at the Emancipation Park on Friday, April 25. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office.
Welcome back, listeners. And we now move over to the Consular Queen. Barrett Immigration Home Office of the Consular Queen and the Consular Queen Academy is hosting a U.S. Visa Summit on June 7, 2025. The event will not be your average webinar. It will be a hands-on certification level training experience. For more on the summit, we are joined by the Consular Queen herself, Nordia Barrett Lewis. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me this morning.
It is good to hear from you again, Ms. Lewis. So please explain to us what makes this webinar different.
It's one of its kind out there in the Caribbean. And of course, it was launched by myself, the Consular Queen for the Consular Queen's Academy, and Attorney Dione Winter Fundy. What we have recognized is the shortage, or let me use the word zero. I'm going to definitively use the word zero this morning. The zero training and certification that is available for those individuals that are carrying out some of those visa applications that are being sent to the embassy, be it a travel agent or just someone that decides that they're going to just be preparing forms. And we're saying, listen, since you have already chosen to be preparing forms, since you have already chosen to be helping people to go to the embassy, why not understand the laws and legalities behind what it is that you're doing? Understand how you can best help your client. Understand how you can create those winning applications for these customers, and understand that you don't have to help to put them in trouble when they do choose to migrate or move beyond Jamaica. Listen, or that visiting visa. So I want to zone in a little bit on people talking about the fact that some of our popular entertainers are moving around in the United States space and performing, and they're saying, listen, these people are on visiting visas carrying out some of this. The answer to that is that it's not true. But because form preparers are only exposed to visiting visas, we're saying, let us take you beyond the visiting visa. Let us take you through the entire alphabet, because visas range from A to V. A as in Apple and V Vanessa. So we're saying, understand how all of this work, understand how it ties together. And then when you see people out there, you won't judge and incorrectly judge the type of visa that this person may have out there, and understand what it requires for each of these.
And what exactly inspired this launch, this certification level training with the immigration boss? What inspired this?
Okay, so this would have been a second training since 2025. What inspired this is the fact that I knew zero about United States immigration coming into this space, having recognized that one, it's lucrative, two, there's so much behind this to learn in order to carry this out properly. I realized that, you know what, now that I've known this, now that I understand this, why not reach out back to my Jamaican people? Why not reach out back to the Caribbean and stimulate the economy so that others can truly benefit from this, while our customers also benefit from a good training, cheaper cost, and they can guarantee that they are getting efficiency.
Interesting. And for those just starting out in immigration services, what would you consider the key skills or knowledge base which would be needed in order to get started?
In order to get started, they first need to have the training from requisite individuals like myself and the immigration boss, the consular queen and the immigration boss. I'd have gone through stringent training. And let us not go into Attorney Funde's 19 years almost of practice. Now we are crunching that together and giving it to you in a one day, 5-hour event. I mean, what more could they be asking for?
And you're covering common red flags in the B1 and B2 student and family-based visas. What would you consider some of the most frequent mistakes made when applicants try to get these?
That's an interesting question to have asked. But I'm going to just zone in on one, given the interest of time. Let us look at marriage. A lot of people believe that it's only people who are married that are getting United States visas. And I'm going to tell you that I left Jamaica with a green card. I'm still a green card holder. So those visas that I would have acquired, I acquired them as a single person. So there's no need to lie about being married, because by the time you get to the United States, given that every person that applies for a visa has the potential to be filed for in the future, those lies are going to come up, and it is going to cost in order to fix these.
Interesting. And how important is proper client preparation in avoiding visa delays or denials?
Guess what? Super. And since I'm in Cartagena speaking to you at this time, let us say muy importante. It's very, very important that they are prepared well in order to prevent that. And for that reason, when these persons, the potential students come in, they will understand how they carry out a consultation, because a good consultation will determine, do you move ahead with something like this in the first place? Because not all persons that approach you are ready to be applying.
And as you pointed out earlier, this is a certification training. So what can participants expect to receive at the end, and how could this be potentially used to, say, boost their businesses?
Okay, so this is a United States visa certification. And of course, we will list the types that we zone in on. This is something that will be framed. It's given to them framed. They put it up in their place of businesses. And for persons wondering where these certifications are coming from, it is coming from Winter Immigration Law Academy. That's WILA Academy. So I partner with WILA, or the immigration boss, in order for the certifications to be given. Why? Because she has already gone through the whole accredited programs. So they know that they are getting an accredited certificate.
Interesting. And for those interested in taking part, how can they get in contact with you? What is the potential cost to them? And how do they go forward?
I could not mention the cost without using the word only. It's only $497 USD. Only $497 USD. BarrettImmigration.com/summit. They can go there to book, or they can reach out to 470-593-8448. That's 470-593-8448. They can call or they can WhatsApp that number. And of course, one of our able agents will assist.
Okay, and just to please repeat that contact information and just to re-inform listeners when this summit is set to start.
This is going to be June 7th. That's Saturday, June 7th. At 9 to 2, and it's 2025, of course. So it's just in a month from now. It's $497, only $497. The contact number, 470-593-8448. You can call or WhatsApp, or you can simply book at BarrettImmigration.com/summit.
Thank you for that information. That is Consular Queen Nordia Barrett Lewis. Please, listeners, if you're interested in pursuing a business or career in this matter of visa applications and services, please go attend the summit. Thank you for that information, Nordia.
Much blessings to you, sir.
Have a good morning. More after these messages, listeners.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 8:30.
JANAC Global Accreditation, promoting consumer confidence, facilitating market access through internationally accepted accreditation and training services. Accreditation, your visa for global access. Accredited once, accepted everywhere. Call JANAC Global Accreditation at 876-968-7790 or visit our website at www.janac.gov.jm.
Hold dog!
Not a dog, not there for hold.
The workman them do a good job with the house though.
I can't complain. I just look a little smalls now for wire it.
Go talk to C&WJ Credit Union. Them have a house wiring loan of up to $150,000 for wire your house. So you can get power from JPS.
That's right. Get up to $150,000 and 3 years to repay with a C&WJ Credit Union house wiring loan. C&WJ Credit Union. Discover the benefits of belonging.
Horton's RX, the caring pharmacy, the Yes We Can pharmacy, the Yes It's in stock pharmacy, the house call delivery pharmacy, the RX Pack mobile app pharmacy, the RX Plus digital wallet pharmacy, the 20% reward pharmacy, the easy to remember number pharmacy, 876-RX0RXRX, the easy access 24/7 pharmacy, Horton's RX, the convenient pharmacy, #wellness, #simply delivered.
Revamp your space with Unique Living sleek fixed and sliding shower panels, shower systems and faucets, stylish vanities, LED and non-LED mirrors, basins and kitchen sinks, closet and storage solutions, hanging aids, and more. Available in different finishes and sizes to match your style. Transform your space and visit us today at shop number 6, 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10. Call us at 876-755-3661 or visit our website at uniquelivingja.com to shop.
That what she like. Don't turn off the lights. That what she like. Can't believe her sweet, sweet girl like you would I tell ya? No sweetness, tie she weakness, yeah, yeah. No feelings, just walk it up like you mean it. No sweetness, tie she weakness, yeah, yeah. No feelings, just walk it up like you mean it. Girl wine and go down, waistline flow like a melody. Go down, pretty girl you are the recipe. Go down, fire in the kitchen, my girl, how you cook that, cook them. Let me see. Nice man can keep your interest. Come with flowers and they get dismissed. You have to handle the business proper. Oh Lord, tell you what she like. Tell you what she like. She wants some action in she life. Come good or just don't come at all. Tell you what she like. Tell you what she like. Tell you what she like. She want the roughness in she life. And when I put down the work, watch how she face light up. Boy, no sweetness, die she weakness, yeah. No feelings, just walk it up like you mean it. No sweetness.
All right, Siobhan left the room at this point because the Jamaica Carnival season is in full swing, and if there's one brand that knows how to bring the vibes, it's definitely Campari. With us this morning is Communications Manager for Campari, Ray Nephew Limited, Dominic Bell. Good morning, Dominic.
Hey, good morning, Sandra. How are you doing?
I'm good. Now, we are understanding that Campari in particular has really stepped up to become a major player on the carnival scene in Jamaica, which carnival is a tourism mecca of events for the island, really. In this time of the year, you can literally not think about carnival, and when you don't think about carnival without Campari, when you think about carnival, you have to think about it with Campari now, because we're seeing the branding, etc., all about the place. So we want to know about the brand's involvement in this year's carnival season.
Well, firstly, good morning to your listeners, and thank you for your kind words in recognizing the work we've been doing over the years. For us, when it comes on to, in particular, the carnival platform, it's all about how do we exude the passion of our people, the arts, and the culture within that of our entertainment block, right? Mm-hmm. So when you think of carnival in Jamaica, I believe that Scott Dunn, the chairman of Dream Entertainment, who, as you know, is the owner of the Exodus Band, you would have noted that when it comes to entertainment blocks, in Jamaica, carnival generates the most per person spend from visitors. So this week alone, we're looking at, upwards of almost over 5,000 tourists. And, that doesn't include probably persons from, the diaspora or, recent migrants who still identify as Jamaicans. But outside of that, carnival in Jamaica has actually gone through a process of what I would call localization, where we have developed our own product, and it's working its way and being a part of our cultural fabric, right? So when you think of carnival in Jamaica, as you rightfully noted, it is a mecca when it comes on to the tourism product. But within our R&G economy, you have upwards of 100,000 indirect jobs that are created during this season, and also 4.4 billion in direct spend based upon the recent U.S. study that the Ministry of Tourism would have led. And outside of that, when you think of carnival in Jamaica, suppose I tell you it's the only carnival in the region that does not play a specific genre of music.
Really?
So our carnival, yeah. So
that's interesting.
In Trinidad, it's all about soca, calypso, and its variants, right? So you'll have, let's say,
but shouldn't that be how it is, seeing that it's from Trinidad?
Yeah, well, actually, that's the thing with regards to Trinidad, right? And that's why our product is unique, because as persons would know, our carnival was not birthed out of a historical experience, right? It was birthed literally as a celebratory moment. So that's why in our carnival, you'll hear dancehall, you'll hear reggae, in addition to soca and calypso. So let's say, for example, in markets like Trinidad, where it was birthed out of a historical experience, that is why it has more cultural undertones. However, in Jamaica, the cultural undertones are embedded with other genres of music. So it really comes across as a celebratory period that has no barrier for entry, and that's one of the reasons it's such a strong tourist pull.
So I hear that there are some giveaways from Campari this year, and that there is a particular designated Campari Boulevard. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about that?
Yes. So leading up to the moment of Campari Boulevard, which takes place on Sunday, April 27th, at Trafalgar Road, stretching to upwards of Emmanuel Road. So think where S Foods supermarket is to that of S Hotel. Leading up to that moment, we would have done upwards of about 10 to 12 what we call, lead-up events during the carnival season. So last night alone, we would have had Ritz featuring Bungee Garland. We would have had Tailgate. And earlier in the week, we would have had the large format events like I Love Soca and Illuminate. So think of that type of high tempo, that type of energetic, those type of energy, those type of vibes. But it will be that within the Campari Boulevard, but free of entry. There is no entry requirement. There is no admission free. So Campari Boulevard is literally building out a Jamaican entertainment experience within the Carnival Road March Day between Trafalgar Road and Emmanuel Road, and for persons to feel a part of the process. So for us, it was very important to democratize participation in Carnival in Jamaica. So with Campari Boulevard, if persons go to at Campari Caribbean, they can enter for a chance to win one of the Campari Boulevard kits. And these kits are, T-shirt packages and the drinkware where they get to actually come on out on the road. They get to watch the parade. They get to, participate in what we have on display in the Boulevard, where we'll have Mocha Jumbies, who are stilt walkers. We'll have the UA Panorama Band. Right. We'll also have, guest performances from our respective carnival trucks. And the beauty of it is, as I said, it's free of cost. There's no barrier for entry for the Boulevard. But we just want persons to feel even more included within the process, where they can also participate, in branded carnival wear.
Okay, that is interesting. That's interesting. So how do people go about getting those giveaways?
Well, persons literally can go on at Campari Caribbean on Instagram, and they can follow the instructions in terms of how to participate in the activity. And then outside of that, if it is that they don't want to enter the competition, we're also just encouraging persons to come on out to Campari Boulevard. So we don't want persons to believe that you have to be pigeonholed into entering the Boulevard Kit competition to come out to the Boulevard. We're literally telling persons, come on out at 11 a.m., free of cost, just the good vibes, good energy, and, drink responsible throughout the day.
I see. So is there anything else that you want to share with our listeners this morning?
That I expect, you along with Siobhan to be on the road with us on Sunday.
You hear that, Michelle? I'm just saying it to the producer. My listeners are going to be having especially my YouTubers, they're going to be having a field day. They're going to be having a field day. So it's you're saying Sunday, it is Campari Boulevard. Is it that multiple bands would be going across this boulevard?
Yes. So the beauty of Campari Boulevard is that we are the official stage crossing area for both Exodus and the Yardmas, and that's who we are. I'm glad you brought it up. That is who we have our Campari Carnival partnership with. So you think of Carnival in Jamaica, we partner with the two leading bands, that are Jamaican owned, being Exodus and the Yardmas. And throughout this season, we would have touched at least 100,000 consumers within their suite of events leading up to Road March Day, where we're expecting upwards of 50,000 onlookers. And when you think of masqueraders, persons who are participating, whether via costume or T-shirts package, we're looking at about 10,000 persons who will be crossing the boulevard. So it is a spectacle, and we just want persons to participate.
Yeah. All right. So I'll guarantee that Chevron will try and make it. I'll put him on the spot.
I realize you're putting him on the spot, but we will speak off here. So you
All right. Thank you so much, Dominic. We appreciate you sharing with us about the happenings with Campari in this particular season, and that's Dominic Bell, Communications Manager for Campari Wren Nephew Limited. Listeners, you heard it from Dominic. You heard it about the Campari Boulevard. It's there for those who are on YouTube as well, and you know what to do if you're into soca, into the carnival season, and that's your thing. We're going for a break, and after this we'll have our birthdays.
Thank you.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:45.
The Birthday Club is brought to you by Burger King, the best tasting burger under the sun.
Darling, put on something sweet. Yeah. Tonight we gonna have some fun. I will know how the people feel it. Dancing until the morning come. Hot and groovy. Look what soca do to me. It have we in a jam again. Feel like a movie. When you throw it back on me, I feel no stress again. Let we dance in a jam. Fall in love, maybe. Fall in love, we party. Looking back on all along. Welcome to Jam Town, baby. We jamming down.
So, listeners, you heard it there a little bit earlier now that this gentleman here, anybody who knows me from the evening show, knows that asking Ms. Dorrit Campbell, nice Christian pastor Dorrit Campbell, good son, to attend to a Campari function on a Sunday is a recipe for disaster. So I will forgive him. He doesn't know this about me, but I will forgive him. I will forgive him that.
Siobhan, I had to volunteer somebody because it wasn't me. I'm sorry, I had to volunteer somebody. But yeah, so it's our birthday segment, and of course, listeners, you know I love sending birthday greetings. It's not just payday for those who consider payday a happy day. It's a birthday day. The 25th of April, 2025, and the 25th of April, 2025, it's that date when we have to wish a very happy birthday to anybody celebrating their birthday. Christopher Henry sends this one in. Happy birthday to Charlene. Mighty, enjoy your day, friend for life. Happy birthday to you. Marva Thomas, today is your birthday, and we're gonna play Goodness of God for you. And Mr. King is hearing that as we play Goodness of God for Martha Thompson. And of course, Christopher Henry, I said yours already. I want to pull up the rest of them.
I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hand.
from the moment that I wake up until I lay my head. Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness.
All right. I have, that's for Marva Thomas. I have my birthdays there. Happy birthday to Kiana from Dad and Grandpa. Happy birthday Akeem, who is celebrating his birthday tomorrow. Greetings from his dad and Grandma. Very happy birthday to you. I have another one here, VVIB. A very, very happy birthday to Elest Shields Monroe in Long Island, New York, who will celebrate her special day on Sunday, April 27th. It says, I thank God for over 40 years of friendship, although we're still teenagers. May God continue to bless and enlarge her territories. Loads of love coming from your bestie, Donetta, Ringo, Matthew, Garth, Lynette, and the rest of the family.
Over on YouTube, we see Monique Grant. She says, happy birthday to my dearest friend and co-worker, Shanique English. Wishing you many more prosperous years to come. Love you forever. Thank you. From your bestie. That's from Monique Grant to Shanique English. I see here, it's Rebecca. She says it's her birthday this Sunday and she'd love a shout out to kick off the celebration. Well, Rebecca, happy birthday when it comes this Sunday. I hope you enjoy your special day. And Annie Smith says happy birthday to Taurus Riley, born Omar Riley, April 26th tomorrow. Happy birthday, Taurus Riley.
Yeah. Arlene Rose sending happy birthday blessings to her cousin, Donette Rowe, wishing her many more blessings and many more blessed birthdays. Yeah, Mr. King, it's on you now to do your switching. Shanika English, a very happy birthday to you. Stacey and Brown, a happy birthday to you. Tricia Bailey, a very happy birthday to you. Wishing you a special day today. It's also Tara Gay Monroe's birthday. Wishing you a very, very happy birthday, Tara Gay. Natasha White, it's your day. We're wishing you a happy birthday here from your Nationwide This Morning family. Natalie Spence, it's your birthday, and I'm wishing you a very happy birthday. Debbie Speng, Kingly Kevin, Olivia Miranda, very happy birthday to you all. It's your day, and I'm wishing you a very happy birthday. Sweetness McDonald, happy birthday to you. Ashmonique Phillips, it's your day. It's a very special day, and we're wishing you a very happy birthday.
Inez Campbell Murray says happy birthday to my niece Julissa in Barbican. Happy birthday, Julissa. Also say Melissa Williams said to my sweet niece Janine, wishing you a happy birthday that's as special as you are. Happy sweet 17. I love you. That's from Melissa Williams to her niece Janine. Happy birthday to you, Janine. Also see here Mars says happy birthday to my beautiful and effervescent friend Christine Dawson. Greetings coming from Marcia, wishing you a very wonderful day. Happy birthday to you, Christine Dawson.
I think that's it for our birthdays. But you know, if you have an anniversary, wishing you a very happy anniversary.
Feel like giving up. Let the strength of your ancestors fill your cup. The power of Jah preserves I and guides in all I do. So all the evils that mean me harm can go back where they came from. No demonic words performed shall prosper, yeah. I tell you, oh yeah, and the science man come, cause him can't squeeze the lion paw. Can't touch a lion, so strong. Roaring lion. And the more them a isle up, and the more them business wild up.
The Birthday Club was brought to you by Burger King, the best tasting burger under the sun.
Andre Smith, you're the son of Erica Smith, and she's wishing you a very happy birthday. Rupert Wilson saying happy birthday to his daughter-in-law, Sharice Wilson from Morant Bay, and he's wishing you many prosperous years ahead. I think that's it for my birthdays now. Go ahead, Mr. King.
Put your hands on the road. Hands on the road.
I normally put my car on the road, but
let me see your hands, them going on the road. Put your hands on the road.
Chevron, give me a bunks, man.
Touch the road. All the girls them touch the road now. Touch the road.
I probably need that flag, Mr. King.
Touch the road. All the girls them touch the road now. Touch the road. Every woman grab a glove. Every woman grab a
I don't know where Mr. King is finding these songs from, listeners, but it's like high energy at the end. You know, if you're at work and you need some energy to go in the, if you want some energy, have some very high energy songs from Mr. King this morning. He's even here waving his paper, but I don't have any paper to wave. But it's been a good morning. It's been a good morning. And we have to thank all the relevant people. Siobhan, Michelle McCrae Smith, producer extraordinaire. Of course, Kimon Thompson, editor extraordinaire. And the musical maestro giving us high energy as we wrap Mr. Jermaine King. Yeah, I'm Sandre Roden.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell. Please enjoy your weekend and enjoy your carnival for those who would like to partake.
Yeah, have a good day. Have a good weekend.
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
Every girl touch road now. Touch the road. Every girl just touch the road. Touch the road. All the
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.